Hello my good friends, this is Chaos Angel here, also known as Lord of Omni, and I'm back at it again with another video discussion with you guys. And it's almost here. We are almost there, my good friends. By the time this video is up, we are only a few days away from the release of Dawntrail as far as the early access is concerned. And there are just so many aspects of this expansion to look forward to when it comes to it. And that's exactly what this video is all about. Talking, discussing, and most certainly gushing about the 10 pieces of content, the 10 reasons as to why I'm looking forward to this expansion with great anticipation. So with that in mind, my good friends, there's nothing else more to say, so let's not stall for any longer. Let's go ahead and get into my 10 reasons I'm hype for Dawntrail. Let's get it. Number 10, we have the Beastmaster. Now, the Beastmaster is something that I've honestly been a little bit mixed on ever since before the actual announcement of the job finally being able to be in the game. But ever since dabbling a little bit more with Blue Mage and just having my fun with the job, I can't help but actually be even more excited for Beastmaster now. As just the very idea, the very difference between this job and Blue Mage is the very fact that you're essentially playing Pokemon, but in Final Fantasy. That's the craziest thing, is the fact that you are in what I would believe is how it will work in this game, is that there will be certain monsters that we will be able to catch, is what I'm hoping is how the function is going to be. We never really know exactly how the mechanics are realistically going to work when it comes to this job, but ideally, with the fact of just that sheer concept, that sheer idea of being able to just straight up capture monsters, save them in some kind of compendium, some encyclopedia of sorts, and just send one out in order to be as a sort of pet in a similar fashion to how the old summoner worked, or something of that nature. Either or, it will be very interesting to see. I honestly cannot help but be very excited for what's to come when this limited job actually drops, though we most likely will not be seeing it until about maybe the 0.4 patch of this expansion. If not that, it might not even come until the next expansion. I'm still not 100% sure. I actually completely forgot how in the world the reveal went when it came to the Blue Mage, I will be honest with you. But regardless of that, I'm definitely excited for what's to come when it comes to the Beastmaster. There are so many ways that they can go about doing this job when it comes to the whole monster catching biz, and probably having different variants. I'm very curious as to how the mechanics will work when it comes to the way on how Blue Mage does their fitting roles within the limited job in and of itself, with the fact that you have the ethereal mimicry in order to get your roles. How will it work when it comes to Beastmaster and getting their roles? And not only that, what if there is some way that limited jobs can actually be in parties together? Would that be possible? There's so many questions, so many answers that I am looking for when it comes to this job. I just can't help but feel the anticipation for whenever this job actually drops, or for whenever they decide to give us an inkling of how the job will realistically work. the very functions, the mechanics, everything. What weapon will the job even use? We use a cane for a freaking blue mage, and it's not realistically a weapon. We don't even use it. That's the thing. It doesn't have stats. So it's like, how in the world is Beastmaster gonna work when it comes to that? Is that also gonna have a weapon that's not gonna have stats? There's just so many things to think about. So that is number 10 on my list for what I'm expecting or what I am anticipating for in this expansion. For number 9, the Arcadian. Man, oh man, I cannot tell you just how excited I am for another original freaking 8-man raid. And this one is going to be the tournament arc, dude. We're going full on anime up in here. It's ridiculous. Yes, not only that, we already had a glimpse of what to look forward to when it comes to the actual fights in Essence. The arena, the actual bosses, or at the very least one of them with oh, that is going to be interesting. I really have to say this is probably going to be the most interesting 8-man raid to experience, and I can't help but wonder exactly how the story is going to go when it comes to this. So many of the previous stories of the 8-man raids have been very, how should I say, particularly serious and of course lore heavy and what have you. And though I do expect some lore heaviness when it comes to just needing to understand exactly what in the world is the history behind this whole entire freaking tournament stadium type deal that we have going on here with the Arcadian, and just the very location in and of itself. I mean, there's literally a freaking straight up graphics card that looks like that is essentially a tower, and what in the world is this like background has anything to do with the very stadium that we're currently freaking participating in when it comes to this tournament? Like, my god, what in the world do we have happening here when it comes to the background, the very story of this raid? It really boggles the mind. And it also just makes you question exactly what other bosses are we gonna find ourselves freaking facing. I mean, Jesus, we're freaking facing literal Renamon over here, even though it doesn't really look like it. But I swear, I straight up had like Digimon vibes the very second I saw this freaking creature. It's very hilarious, I will have to say. But that is definitely the 9th thing that I am very interested in and anticipating for when it comes to this expansion. Moving on, for number 8, we have the new areas of the expansion. Very colorful, very vibrant, very vivid, very lustrous, very freaking full of nature, dude. It is abundant in nature. I honestly am so excited to just explore through these areas. There are numerous amount of locales within this these new environments, mind you, that I am really looking forward to just enjoying the view, simply enjoying the view of these locales. And not to mention in the new graphics update, like, I can't even imagine how it's going to be when I see these locations in the graphics with the graphics update while it's playing on my PlayStation 5 on a freaking 4K TV, like with full HDR. It's going to be mind-boggling. I am going to be so flabbergasted the very second I freaking like even remotely take a glimpse of these areas. It's, oh my god, the anxiety, the anticipation, the excitement is just like filling within me. It's honestly so much. So many of these locations, freaking Solution 9 being the top one I'm looking forward to the most. Dude, I can't even tell you just absolutely jaw dropped my mouth was when it came to the live letter. So many freaking instances I kept on freaking looking at this place, and I'm just like, what in the actual flippin' Tron? What in the freaking Back to the Future? What in the freaking Sentai nonsense was I even looking at when it came to this location? I just cannot, dude. We have freaking motorcycles, we have freaking literal cars, even though we already have a cars amount, but it's just like, dude, these future ass looking cars, the very map, we're in a literal flippin' futuristic ass mall, dude. We're in a flippin' mall. This straight up looks like something that came out of from flippin' PlayStation Home. Am I the only one? I feel like I'm the only one. And then there's Yachtel. Straight up, freaking Tears of the Kingdom. Like 100%. You're going down into the forest, and the very second you do that, you're in Luminary. You're in a straight up Luminary forest. I can't even describe just how beautiful these maps look, and the very atmosphere, the very vibe these maps give off are just straight up mystical in nature. It's honestly just something so hard to really describe in words. I really can't. And I'm already freaking bad at describing things when it comes to it. I really just cannot. Then you got other locations like Heritage Found. Like there's all kinds of crazy nonsense going on in Heritage Found that I just cannot even imagine, that I just cannot even fathom what the hell is even going on with the background of that very location. And then not to mention the fact that it also has straight up literal buildings from Final Fantasy IX, dude. Like, I was at a loss for words at the fact that there was literal buildings, straight up buildings from Alexandria, it found in Heritage Found. And all that's making me wonder is just, what other connections are we going to be finding from Final Fantasy IX in these various locations? I mean, there's already Solution 9, and now freaking Heritage Found has freaking Alexandria buildings. What else am I going to be finding in this nonsense? We're going straight up ham with the Final Fantasy IX references. It's insane. And then lastly, one of the other locations that I am so wanting to explore to a T is Kazama Oka. Yes. The very expansiveness of this area, the very lush freaking trees, the tropicalness of this map is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Straight up crazy. The very vastness of this area is wide opening to an insane degree. There are so many aspects of this very map that I feel is on par with many of the other bigger maps that are in the previous expansions, like for instance Stormblood's Azim Steppe. But the thing is that this is taking it to times 10. Like, I don't even know what to realistically even say with just how various in terms of environment that this map even has. The very locales, the very biomes are just so diverse, it's honestly causing my head to spin. I don't even know how in the world they are even capable of making these kinds of maps each and every single time with each expansion. Their creativity just knows no bounds. And this is pretty much number 8 of what I'm anticipating for this expansion. And now, number 7, the new epic soundtrack. Guys, I can't even begin to even explain to you how excited I am with this expansion soundtrack, primarily because of the fact on just the various environments that we will be going through, the various battles that we will be experiencing, with how we have jazz, how we have electric rock, how we have freaking literally synthwave. Next thing you know, I'm gonna be finding myself listening to freaking dubstep up in this bit. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, it's already enough that from what I heard of the Mediator dungeon boss themes, the mid-boss theme is quite frankly the best mid-boss theme of any freaking expansion, in my personal opinion. It just sounds so good, and oh my lord, I cannot wait when it comes to the Arcadian boss themes. I just cannot wait to hear the music from that content, dude. It's just so much. It really is so much. I just really cannot imagine what in the world we're in for. What in the world Soken has in store for us when it comes to the soundtrack in this expansion. And I am just so not ready for it. Number 6, the hairstyles. Ever since the results of the hairstyle contest, I've been waiting with bated breath and knowing what they have in store for us when it comes to the hairstyles that we will be getting in this expansion. Quite honestly, really, with how this game has now gone through 10 years of growth and what have you, I honestly find it very off-putting how with each expansion it just doesn't seem as though we've really been getting all that much in terms of hairstyles. It's quite concerning, I will have to say, and it's one of the various things that I'm hoping that we will see more when it comes to this expansion. In my personal opinion, I am honestly hoping that in some way, shape, or form, they will give us a lot more in comparison to what they have been doing in previous expansions. Like for instance, I honestly suggest that with each expansion, we should be getting 5 hairstyles initially at the start, and then after that, we can get 1 to 2 for each patch. But besides that, I am definitely looking forward to many of the hairstyles that they have in store for us in this expansion, especially the ones that are from the contest winnings. Because let me tell you, although there were a great number that I honestly was not all that much of a fan of, which I did do a reaction for, but good God, that thing was an hour long and I'm still freaking editing it down piece by piece. I still haven't really uploaded that video. So if any of you guys are interested in wanting to see my reaction to many of the actual hairstyles that did win and the hairstyles that didn't, let me know down in the comments. All I know is that there are particular pieces of hairstyles that I've been noticing when it comes to these art pieces that I am kind of hoping, most certainly wishing, definitely wanting to see be added in the game. I really gotta say, the artists really gotta stop trying to freaking make hairstyles on these characters and these art pieces when they're not in the game. Otherwise, you're going to make me want them in the game. Like this one, for instance. I better see this being added in the game, CS3. I'm watching you. Next to number 5, the future quality of life features and changes. Now, if there's one thing that we can be hyped for every single expansion, it is the very quality of life changes that is made to the game overall in each expansion. Every single time, whenever it comes to the 0.3s or the 0.4s, we would end up getting a huge quality of life just being made change for the game, and changed for the better. And I'm hoping that when it comes to it, we'll be seeing some very big changes in this expansion. One current change that I am also hoping that would be made during this expansion, if at all possible. But I will not hold my breath. Still, I am looking forward to on exactly what kind of changes that they will surprise us on, because that is one of the biggest aspects when it comes to these quality of life changes and features, is the ones that we do not expect, the ones that they surprise us with, the ones that we didn't exactly made requests for, because those are the ones that you honestly never really thought that you wanted, but then the moment that you get it, you're all the more happy for it. And that is something that I want to see. That is something that I am anticipating when it comes to this expansion, is something that they will literally knock our socks off out of nowhere. Literally something that we will never even see coming. I cannot wait to see what they got for us with this expansion when it comes to the quality of life features that they have planned for this expansion. And number 4, new gear and weapon designs. If there is one thing that everyone equally agrees on, is the gear and weapon designs being the biggest aspect of customization when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV. As they all say, true endgame is glamour, and gear and weapon designs is where it's at. And from what we've already seen with the tome gear and the straight up flipping Mad Max Fist of the North Star looking ass freaking gear that we saw in the freaking live letter, I really gotta say we are in for quite the treat in this expansion, and especially with how we got the graphics update in flux, with the very quality of the metalwork, the freaking cloth, the leather, everything about it. It's going to be a sight for sore eyes when it comes to seeing these new pieces of gear that we will be seeing, these new weapons that we will be seeing in line when it comes to the graphics update. And I honestly just cannot wait to witness it. It's going to literally be, quite frankly, the first thing that I am going to do. Like, I'm not even joking. The very second that I log in, the first thing I'm doing is that I'm going to be freaking going to the market board, and I'm going to be taking a look at all of the pieces of gear from freaking 90 to 100. Straight up, no joke. Number 3. Wing mounts. I have been waiting for quite possibly since Stormblood, mind you, most likely for the inclusion of wing mounts to be in the game. I absolutely lost my literal upon them finally giving me the very thing that I have been wanting for the longest time. I can't even imagine what else they'll have in store for me when it comes to this addition to the actual mount categories. Not only for the very fact that this is going to be having its own raid series of wing mounts, its own themes. We will also actually be getting wing mounts that are not even a part of the raid as well. And it is something that I'm so excited for in wanting to see on my characters, as quite frankly, I'm finally gonna be able to literally capitalize on my namesake of Chaos Angel. If I ever freaking see literal angel wings, any freaking dark angel wings, I will literally be deceased. I will be gone. I will be done. It will be over. I don't even know where to even begin when it comes to this aspect. Is the very fact that we're finally, after so many years of asking, after so many years of just praying and saying it and all that good nonsense, even though it wasn't really on videos, even though it wasn't really anywhere in like my live streams or what have you, all I can say is that it was within the very conversations that I would have with my Discord members, which for any of those of like-minded individuals, if you would like to conversate with myself as well as the many members that are mega fans of constantly in a loop trying to ask for this one thing when it comes to the mounts, is the very thing of just letting your own character fly. Every single time I would find myself just constantly in a loop trying to ask for this one thing when it comes to the mounts, is the very thing of just letting your own character fly. not being a part of a mount, not riding on top of something or being carried by something. No, even though I'm very well aware that in some aspects you are pretty much being carried by something when it came to the mount that we saw in the live letter. In some aspects, it was very obvious that when we saw the wings, they weren't exactly attached to the character. And the way on how they facilitated on actually adding wing mounts to the character is having like some sort of miniature like fairy on your back. But even then, the results still end the same. It still makes it look like the character in and of themselves are flying, and that is all I want. That's all I've wanted. I've wanted this for ever since the time that we've gotten treasure mounts, and it's finally here. And I just cannot wait for me to finally experience it. Now, number 2. The Viper. Oh, we have finally made it to this job. Oh. Let me tell you right now, that very day I saw this job, that very flippin' day I saw the Warrior of Light pull out his second blade, pulled out that second sword, but not only that, also witnessing him put those swords together, I quite honestly lost my shit. Like, it's not even just the fact that you have one job that focuses on dual wielding with traditional non-oriental swords. Oh, no. You got straight up on the high seas, Western as all get out, modern twin sabers, turning into a mother-loving, bifurcated double weapon, son. Channeling every single possible character that has made me a fan of this very weapon concept to this very day. You got flippin' Surge from Chrono Cross. You got flippin' Grump from Final Fantasy XII. The literal first character out of this list that put me on the path straight up obsessing over this weapon concept, only to be capitalized by Hubert from flippin' Tales of Graces. Quite literally the prime suspect that made me fall in love with the very concept of twin blades. But even before him, I still gravitated to characters with that weapon, such as Pit, who was my main back in my Super Smash Bros. Brawl days on the Nintendo Wii. It doesn't even stop there. You got freaking Xemnas from Kingdom Hearts 2, Boulder from Bayonetta 2, bruh, flippin' Grow from Soul Calibur 6. So many characters that made this weapon theme just look sick as all get out. And of course, we can't forget about Zidane when it comes to it. But you have to keep in mind that, in all honesty, Gabron did it first. Zidane didn't originally have the idea of weapon switching between twin blades and a double weapon all at the same time. That wasn't until Dissidia. And as in his original game, the weapon types were pretty much separate as either a double weapon or just straight up twin daggers. But that's besides the point. I just cannot stress it enough with how these characters inspired me and made me fall in love with this weapon design. The very characters that have essentially paved the way to me finally having a job with the weapon concept I didn't even think to imagine being in this game until now. Hell, I didn't even consider even wanting it in this game, as I was just too distracted in my wish of wanting my favorite weapon of all time, the scythe, to be in this game. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, did that wish get granted to a literal T with Reaper in NY? Like, I was so happy, so content on just having Reaper in this game. I was satisfied with Reaper. I got the scythe job of my literal dreams. A job that straight up summons an avatar of death itself, a literal avatar of the void itself. The job quite literally had everything I could possibly imagine to represent the very death itself. Darkness, void, death, all the edge you could ever imagine in one perfectly crafted theme job. I was satisfied. All the things I could ever want. The scythe, the avatar, the transformation, the aura, the everything. I thought I was kosher. I thought I was good. Peachy keen out of the wazoo. But no, freaking CS3 just had to come out with the double whammy. Straight out had to give me another job the second time in a row with my second favorite weapon design concept of all time being the bifurcated double weapon. A flippin' twin blade, son. Everything that I could possibly have wanted with this weapon is on this job. The flippin' speed, the flippin' precision, the movement, the power. My lord, this job is just straight up fast as fuck, boy. It's fast as fuck.
I'm fast as fuck, boy. Still fast as fuck, boy. Come get some.
I swear to you. Channel the meme to its absolute fullest right now, because this job is absolutely insane. With the sheer ridiculous amount of attacks that you output in a small amount of time. Like, I just can't even with you guys, because it just doesn't even stop there. The job is just so versatile with the fact that not only does it have crazy melee movements, it even has range. It has insane range and melee in its arsenal. I just can't even with this job, I am telling you. And I am just so happy that I now have two jobs. Count them. Two jobs with weapons that I have never thought nor imagined I was ever going to see in this game, and yet here we are. Two jobs. Two sides on the same coin even. And the funny thing about that is the fact that they have the ending in their name. Flippin' Reaper, flippin' Viper, flippin' one is slow and heavy with their cleaves and strikes, while the other is fast as fuck and precise with their slashes and stabs. The flippin' blue aura of the Viper, the flippin' speed, the very power. My lord, the very power. If there is one thing, one other thing about this job I am absolutely floored to know, and am so grinning with sheer elation of this fact, is the fact that this job is a selfish big deeps type DPS. Straight up big D on the table type DPS shit, son. Yes, sir. Like, I just cannot tell you the moment upon me realizing the fact on this job focusing on nothing but damage, and even going so far as to total the very potency of all their attacks in their toolkit, to see it come out slightly higher than that of Samurai, you'd be absolutely terrified by the straight up grin I would have on my face. The absolute joyous, jubilant feeling of knowing that I would finally be back to my heyday of playing the big dick DPS. Yes, it started out with Black Mage, then Samurai, and now I'm back in full circle to where I belong with Viper, son. I just can't describe in detail the very feeling of satisfaction I'm still having to this very day on the fact that I will not only be back onto playing a selfish DPS, but also the fact I will be able to play through the story as that selfish DPS. It's such an indescribable feeling. It's such an indescribable feeling. I really just can't put it into words. I mean, like, guys, the action people keep on calling Viper's Enshroud, quote unquote, reawaken. Yeah, that, even though it works nothing like Enshroud and is more realistically like continuation in a way, or a combination if you want to be technical. This skill is quite frankly illegal, and Yoshi as well as CS3 are absolutely insane to even have made this action come to exist in this game. Upon you even pressing reawaken, you deal damage around you. Like, no, seriously, upon you straight up just pulsing out energy like some kind of hard ass flipping mother loving psycho, thinking it was just the usual effect of forming your energy, not unlike that of Dragoon's Blood of the Dragon effect back in the day. Oh no, this shit instead starts off with dealing damage outright. 600 potency outright at that. And with no flippin' fall off on top of even that. It doesn't even stop there. Guys, you mean to tell me that with every generation that is 500 potency, every legacy that is 350, all 10 skills plus Ouroboros that is 1000 potency by itself, every single one being AoEs on top of it, and they all have no fall off while also being able to go into another reawakening after finishing the previous one, if you have the gauge for it? Lord, Heavenly Father, have mercy on my soul. I am coming to you right now. Everything about this job is what I've wanted when it comes to it. Like, I just can't. I really just can't. I'm flipping obsessed. I am quite honestly obsessed. When it came to it, just watching the job from the showcase, just watching the job from the job action showcase, I melted like butter. I melted like ice. I melted like a damn marshmallow on a campfire in the summer nights. I really just cannot with this job, guys. I really can't. I really just can't with this flipping job. Just what the freak is with this job? What the hell is this job? I cannot take this job anymore. And I just want to flip and play the freaking job already, dude. I mean, I already flippin' have my freaking glamour gear all set on my boy Ezekiel, for Christ's sake. Hell, that's not even all. I even have my freaking crossbars all set. I'm all set to go. I am so flippin' prepared for this job. You just have absolutely no idea, literally no clue on just how hype I am to get my hands on this job. I swear to you. Oh my god. And it's like, don't get me wrong, this doesn't make me fall out of love with Reaper in the slightest. The very theme of that job is the reason I love it. Its DPS could be straight up trash, and I would still play the ever-living shit out of it. I will never tire out of that job, because I'll never tire of sides. I love both of these jobs in equal measure, and I'm just going to point out right now, I'm officially maining both of these jobs. And for those who say I can only main one, that's your prerogative. I'm maining both of these jobs, son. No and ifs or buts about it. I'm officially maining 2 jobs, cause I just can't choose between them. Reaper has my itch. Viper has my itch. It doesn't even flippin' matter, dude. So keep it in mind, on Reaper and Viper, mains, both of them, they mine. They are for me. They were made for me. It's almost as if someone from CS3 has been following my videos or just following my Discord, reading my discussion with my Discord members, something, as like they've just been reading my flippin' mind, because both of these jobs have been exactly 1-to-1 everything that I've ever wanted, with the very weapon concepts that are my top favorites that these jobs use. You just have no idea. Because for those who remember the day when I flipped my literal shit when it came to Sam, you gotta understand, at the time, sure enough, that was definitely my favorite job when it came to it. But before Samurai, before the Katana, like, let me tell you, before Scythes and Twin Blades were ever my favorite, I was a huge fan of the Katana, a huge fan of the Way of the Sword. But after I learned of these 2 very weapons' existence in media, whether it be anime, whether it be manga, movies, games, television, I don't even care. When I experienced these concepts, katanas became an afterthought and essentially became my 3rd favorite in the list right after those 2. And if we were to continue that list on like a top 5 weapon concept type deal, the 4th and 5th would be the freaking gunblade, if that wasn't already obvious, and bladed shields respectively. Those are essentially my favorite weapon designs of all time, and if even CS3 thinks about making a tank with a bladed shield weapon, I will quite literally collapse and have the angels take me to heaven, cause y'all be doing too much, I swear. And speaking of doing too much, I'm spending way too much time on this. I'm sorry. So it's like we gotta go ahead and move on, because if I keep on freaking talking about this job, I swear I'm gonna take a full-on hour, the hell, 2 full-on hours just gushing about this damn job, like just going over the place with my ramblings. And don't even doubt that fact for a second, because I'm not even joking with you right now. I can straight up talk about this job for an hour plus, and I just can't even. I can't put you guys through that. Like, I can't do it. I'm sorry, it just can't be done. If I do it, this video is going to be much longer than it really needed to be. So with that in mind, let's go on to the next one. Oh my god. And lastly, the final, most anticipated thing that I am waiting for on this list is actually tied with 2 features: the graphical update and 2-channel die. I cannot even begin to even tell you the very moment when these 2 things were revealed. And as we were slowly but surely seeing aspects of just how big the graphical update was going to be when it came to it, I honestly could not tell you or explain to you just how flabbergasted, just how speechless, just how amazed, just how absolutely floored I was, and still am, at what in the world we're going to be experiencing when Dawntrail finally releases and we see these new graphical updates on screen. I have said this numerous times, but no one is realistically ready for what this game is going to have in store for you the very moment that you start up this game and you see those graphics on screen. Literally no one is. So many have downplayed what they have seen, all from a compressed YouTube video as well as seriously heavily compressed live streams from live letters, not really understanding just what it is that we have happening here. Something as groundbreaking as this that we're going to be experiencing after literally 10 years of playing this game. And though that can't be said the same for many of the newcomers, as they most likely won't really see much of a difference or have an inkling of the difference due to the lack of experience when it comes to this game, but I'm fairly certain that there will be some of you who will appreciate what is being done when you actually see the difference. And the difference is quite frankly huge, and I just can't really tell you, and I just really can't tell you how excited I am. I can't explain to you how excited I am when it comes to the fact that we are going to re-experience this game. Like, this isn't even going to be the same game anymore in terms of visual quality. We're going to be playing a whole different type of game the moment that this drops. And that is the very insanity of it that I find to be so obsessed of. And then not to mention the 2-channel die is another aspect on top of it. I mean, the very fact that with the graphical update, updating the very cloth, the very metal, the very linen, the very velveteen, the very leather, the very metal work, the gold, the silver, the lining, everything, dude. And with that, coupled with the 2-channel die, giving you an even better sense of customizability is honestly just leaving me completely lost for words. Even though I've said so many, it just leaves me at a loss for words. It leaves me completely dumbstruck. I am quite frankly tongue-tied, bereft of my speech. I cannot even articulate the very aspect of just how insane just the combination of these two things when it comes to this expansion, that you just have no idea. You have no idea, guys, what is in store for us the moment that this drops and this graphical update comes along with the 2-channel die. I finally get to have character color themes for my characters. I can go with the black and blue for my boy Ezekiel. I can go for the freaking yellow and white for my girl Zelene. I can go for so many things that it is crazy. And don't even get me started with the fact that, just imagine the moment that they add freaking 3-channel die in the future at some point down the line. You never really know. It might happen. But it's just like, bruh, just imagine how insane the customization would be like if we had 3-channel die. But I'm getting ahead of myself. For now, I'm just straight up satisfied with the fact that we literally are able to customize our characters and finally have unique pieces of gear, uniquely colored glamour. It's just insane. And then again, coupled with the fact that the very fabric of the gear, the very leather, the textures of the gear, having that graphical update to where it just gives you such freshness, such freaking realistic feel to it, with the very art style of the Final Fantasy XIV graphics. It's glorious. It's absolutely glorious, and is the #1 thing that I am anticipating for Dawntrail when it releases. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much everything that I have for you. That is all the things that I am anticipating for this expansion, and I really can't wait. I've been waiting with bated breath, and it's like with each day passing by, the anxiety, the very anticipation, the suspense that is swelling within me just gets worse and worse every single time, every single day, every single second, every single hour. It's honestly insane. I am literally shivering in anticipation. I can't really control myself at the moment, just talking about all of this. It's quite frankly unnerving. I'm really gonna have to admit because it's just like we only have a few days left. We're almost there. The maintenance is gonna be happening soon, and that in and of itself is just like the very countdown of it just makes it even worse when it comes to my flipping anxiety here. I really can't. But other than that, let me know what exactly are the things that you are anticipating. Give me your list of anticipations for the expansion. What exactly is it that you are particularly hyped for? You can give me a list of 10, you can give me a list of 5, you can give me a list of anything. It does not matter. Just put it down in the freaking comment section below and give me your thoughts. Let's make a discussion out of it. And for any of those who are interested, again, there is a link down in my description for the Discord for anyone who is wanting to chat and discuss with like-minded individuals of Final Fantasy and everything else in gaming. But with that is pretty much all, guys. I leave you guys to it. You have a very nice day, nice night, nice morning, nice afternoon, all that good nonsense, and I shall catch you in Dawntrail.